Welcome back, everybody. This is Robbie from Miscellaneous Candor, frank, honest, and otherwise outspoken. Welcome to episode 20. Today, I have Steven with me. We're going to be talking about our usual topics that you all know and love: podcasts, AI, and how it impacts everyday life, and also a lot of current events and some celebrity, I guess, brouhaha. I'll say that. That sounds so corny, but
Oh, you
anyway,
got
came to the
brouhaha.
top of my head.
You
It
got
just
you
came
got
to my
a
mind. It just
celebrity
came to my
brouhaha.
mind.
Right. Hello, my
Hi,
friends.
Steven.
Hello, hello. It is I, Stephen Kennedy, your board certified atheist at your service.
So speaking of that, Steven, and I don't
Yes.
want to go into like a deep conversation on this
Let's
because I
not
know you
get
always want to, because then that could take up the whole episode, and we're not going to do that, right? But
what talking about
I
atheism.
did want to bring up a book from somebody that I wondered if you read. First of all,
Okay.
do you know who Jordan Peterson is?
No.
Okay, so he's like a Canadian psychologist, author, and media commentator.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
he has a book called We Who Wrestle with God. And he
Okay.
talks about how, and I thought this was interesting because I heard him on a podcast. Yes, I did hear him on a podcast that you do not like. So I don't know if I can bring it up. Um,
What podcast is that?
okay, well, I have to reference them. He was on Jay Shetty. He was
Oh,
on Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty. All right. This invalidates your whole.
No. You have to listen though, because the thing about him, this guy is he's on all kinds of things. He is well respected. He's not like a Jay Shetty guy. You know how
Okay.
he sometimes just has people on there, and he was even talking about how some of the things that he could tell that he's a Christian.
Uh-huh.
But I would like for you to, I'll maybe send you a clip of what he talks about and what he says, because the way he talks about atheist perception of
Uh-huh.
people who have any sort of religious belief, I thought was pretty interesting. And
Oh
I
yeah.
thought you would be open to hearing his
Yeah.
perception
Definitely.
on it. So that's why I want to bring it up. Okay.
Absolutely. Um, are you by any chance wrestling with God?
No. I mean,
Okay.
like, what do you mean? Like, in terms of my belief?
Yes.
Absolutely not. We've had this discussion. I mean,
I always have
I
hope.
know.
I have an underlying, hope. I pray for you, Robbie. I pray that you will see my ways and come to my side. Did you see that when I
Okay.
said that? I pray.
I know
I'm making a
that. And
little joke.
I know you're trying to make a joke. And I think that's one of the things too, is, it's just not,
Oh, oh, oh. By
it's
the way,
not as simple as it's made out to be. But that's okay. I
I
mean,
know, I
that's
know.
your belief is what your belief is. That's your path. I know that
I mean, I
I
wouldn't
stand
say
on my
it's a
path.
belief.
Mhm.
I'd say it's a reality. Um, but
Well, I know. We agree to disagree. Okay, so
I just, I, you
let's
you
not,
know,
we can't, we know we're not going to talk about this the whole time. You know
but
that.
yours is a belief. It's a belief system. Mine
Mm,
is a reality system.
Um, there is a lot of conversation around that, which is why I brought him up, because I know that you would be open to what he
I
says.
would
So I'm going to
absolutely.
send you the
Great.
clip, and I'm going to send you the book. Okay,
Okay. And we can talk about it
so,
again, next podcast episode. Um, but I did want to say one thing about Jay Shetty.
oh God, I know
It's
how much you can't stand him. So just go on in, go on in.
I, I just
Jay,
want to
just
say
FYI, I'm not saying that you'll ever listen to this podcast, but if you do, this is his opinion and not mine.
I
Go on.
I just want to say I'm going to make it a mission of mine to locate these monks that he served with to get a better understanding of, what he claims is his foundation. And then I'm going to report back.
Okay, you say that with such like I'm out to show that he's a fraud
He is a fraud.
energy. Why
Yes.
do you say that?
I mean, come on. Well, I
I,
see.
I, I,
This is
I don't know.
I think you're blinded by his cute accent and
I'm
pretty.
not. That's the whole thing, though. I'm not. I have. He's not attracted to me.
Oh,
Oops,
okay.
we lost Steven. Yes, he's gonna come back. Sometimes he has issues, and there is Steven. Steven, you
There I
back?
am. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. No, I'm not attracted to him. I'm not.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, I know that he has green eyes. I see them. My daughter has green eyes, and I mean, he. I mean, that is a attribute. Um, he has a English accent. There's a lot of people. Oh, we lost Steven again. Steven?
I'm here. I'm back.
Okay, okay. I don't know what's happening. Um, I said he has green eyes, so what? He has an English accent. I mean,
But you
besides an
actually
attribute.
find value in what you can get past the
Yeah,
aura, and you.
absolutely. It's not about his appearance. You know what I like about him? I will tell you what I like about him. And this is independent of whether you think he's a fraud or not. I don't think he is a fraud. I'll be honest, I do not. But what I do like about him is that he made it a purpose and a goal to come out, not just in podcasting, but on social media and all these different areas to actually provide information and energy that is positive and good.
I
He's
agree
not
with
trying to
you.
tear down anyone. He's not trying to do the engagement for engagement. And if that means bad engagement, so what? Like he's not doing that. His whole premise is about making people think about how they can be their best self. And
I
for me,
don't know
someone
if
that's
that's the
doing that,
entire premise. I think it's a part of it.
look, yes, clearly he's making a living at it, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a lot of people that are doing that. But
Sure. Yeah.
in this
Yeah, of
day and
course. Yeah.
age, I do think that there's some validity to what he is doing.
I
You
agree.
don't
I
hear
agree.
stories about him like, okay, there's some people out there that they try to say certain things, and there are people out there, they're, such and such is an asshole, such and such is an undercover piece of boo boo, all that kind of stuff, right? You don't hear that about him.
Yeah.
So I'm giving him credit for that. Anybody that's actually
Yes.
trying to put some good out in the world.
You're right. You're right. I agree. I agree with
So,
you.
I mean, that's why I like him.
I agree with you. I so yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah. We can move on.
Okay. You just don't like the Indian girls who you talk about who say that he's super fine and that drives you crazy.
I think he has. Listen, I think he has nothing. He has nothing new to offer to the public. It's just repackaged information that's been out there, that's been put out there by other people. I don't think anything he's saying is a new revelation, yet he makes it the way he's an artist with his words and the way he conveys information. He's an artist. I'll put it that way.
Well, like Marshawn Lynch says from politicking, ain't nothing new under the old moon. So, hey, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, even if it is repackaged, it is something that's out there that evidently a lot of people are listening to and find
You're
some
right.
sense of value in. And I don't think
Yes.
every
If
single one of those people are listening to it because he has green eyes and an English accent.
I think there is a his voice and his looks, I think that kind of puts people in a position to make him out to be what he may not be. I think that that kind of helps, create an image. And I think people fall for it. And the way he repackages information, the way he talks, the way he conveys information, um, you know, it's it's um, it's thought to be something it's actually not. But again, to your point, if he is getting, if he's the messenger for, for information, and if he's the one that's able to get through to some people, to educate them, to open their minds about things, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that is my point. I think the other piece is a little bit of indie, but I'm gonna let that ride. I'm gonna let that ride. Okay, so podcast. What did you listen to?
I only listen to my favorite podcast right now, which is Bad Friends. Have you? I mentioned it last time. Did
I
you get a
know.
chance to? I'm sorry.
I said, I know. Here it comes. No, I
Oh,
did not listen to Bad Friends.
oh, you
Sorry.
didn't. Okay.
No, but I did do
So
this. I
I,
looked it up and I did follow it. So I'm hoping that
I find it fascinating that every episode you try to engage me in listening to podcasts. You encourage me. You really push me into listening to podcasts. And when I do listen to podcasts and I'm engaged and I ask you to share with me, sharing it with me, you don't do it. That's fascinating. That's okay
okay,
though.
so
I
you know
see.
what?
I see
You're
where your
right.
priorities are. That's okay.
No, but you're right. You okay, this. I did not listen to it. I should have listened to it. I will make an effort to listen to it this week. However, I did look it up and I looked at it and I took a breath because I knew that it's probably going to take me places I don't necessarily want to go. But I'm going to listen to it next. I listened to some other podcasts that you didn't listen to, but hey, we said that we would share it. You have listened to Brilliant Idiots, so
Yeah.
I owe you and the audience to listen to Bad Friends at least one time.
Thank you.
So I
Thank
will do that next week. I just have to like gear up my inner energy and my protective mental guards so that
Like,
I can
like I
listen
said,
to
it's
that.
not the most intellectual conversation, but I really believe you will be entertained.
I hope so because Lord knows what this is going to be. Okay, so um, let's see. What did I listen to this week? I listened to a lot. So I listened to this podcast called, I think it's called The Rise of Politics. It's with Katie K or Caddy K and Anthony Scaramucci, the mooch who I
Mhm.
love listening to his voice. Like it's so clear, and then he's so like New York, New Jersey. Like it's
Yeah,
just so
yeah.
there anyway, but it's really good. I also listen to um All In. So the All In podcast, it is with Shema. What's it? Hold on a second. Let me
Why do I know this
get it right.
podcast?
You probably do because it is who's it with here? It's with industry veterans like the BC people. Shema, I can't say his last name. I apologize. Jason Calkins, I think Calcanis, I think David Sachs and David Friedberg. But Shema Palahapaya Cha. I'm sorry, Shema. I'm sorry. I'll
How do
have to be
can you spell the first name?
Shema,
Yeah.
Chamath.
Oh, the Indian guy. Okay, okay.
Yes, yes. And I wish I could say his last name. And I have to figure out how to. Oh, I should
Let
have
me.
practiced before. What is it? I'm
I'll
sorry. I
tell. Give
shouldn't
me a
just.
second. I'll tell you how to pronounce his last name.
You want me to spell it for you?
Uh, no, I'm just gonna look it up because I know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Anyway, they
It's
were all except for like one person all in for,
it's Chamat Balihapitiya. Okay, that's a little tough for me too. Even I'm
Okay.
Indian.
Okay. Okay. But still,
Chamat
I
Bala Chamat Balihapitiya.
Paliha Pitya.
Yeah,
Paliha Pitya. Okay. All right.
yes.
So anyway, they were talking about Doge. And I'm just going to leave it there because we're going to talk about that stuff later. But it was interesting because they know the people who are running Doge. And so hearing their perspective as VCs and people in Silicon Valley was interesting. And then I also listened to, as I said, that Anthony Scaramucci and Katty K, Rise of Politics. Love that show. You got to listen to it. Then Pivot, Prop G Markets, Joe Rogan. I listened to his conversation, and it's just like, all of the things about Joe Rogan, it's like 2 hours long, 2+ hours. But I know I talked about Scott Storch last week. But this week I listened to Josh Brolin. I don't know if you know who Josh Brolin is.
Of course I do. That's
Okay.
this is very funny because this is
It was so good. Josh
I
Brolin is hilarious. What were you gonna say? Go on.
it was funny because I just messaged I just messaged my buddies yesterday because I
Mhm.
came across some clips of Josh Brolin recently, and he's got a very nice voice, you know. But
Yes,
I was watching these clips, and I messaged just yesterday. I messaged my buddies, and I said, you know, Josh, just randomly, Josh Brolin has really nice hair.
yes,
so it's funny that you bring it up right now, Josh Brolin.
yes, he does because his father does. Anyway, and okay, so it was just interesting hearing his conversation and just how he grew up because his father was really famous. His father married Barbara Streisand. They're still married.
Yeah, that's funny.
Um,
I
and then
feels like that
he's
both of us
like,
end up watching clips of Josh Brolin. There's something going on here.
I know
Um,
that is something. I don't know how I feel about that, but I will
that's
say
really strange. That
it is strange.
and I also did find the conversations engaging, so I watched a few clips. That's really strange that both of us, huh?
I know. That is strange. Okay, so anyway, I listened to that podcast. It was really good. It was really good. It was interesting. There were so many things. That's the thing about Rogan. I know there's some people who don't like him, but Charlemagne said this on Brilliant. He's like, he's really a curious guy. He is. He gets people to talk for so long, and you really learn about who people are, which
And that's a
I
skill.
appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it takes a long time to get through the podcast. Don't get me wrong. If we weren't doing this show, I probably wouldn't listen to these podcasts all the time, right? But um, I'm learning about just like the different nuances of people when you listen to that show. It's pretty interesting on how that works. I need to find some others though that have kind of the same framework and see. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if anyone is having those types of conversations the way that Rogan is able to do that. So that one was a good one. One of the things that was really crazy is that Josh Brolin talked about how he was like in jail all the time, and he was like when he was younger, and how he like had a huge drug problem for a period of time, an alcohol problem, and he tried LSD at 13,
Oh wow.
which was cool.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, anyway, it's a good, and he just recently wrote a book. I like the fact that
Right.
he wrote the book. Like he didn't have, a lot of these people write books, but they don't write it. They have ghostwriters that write.
Yeah.
He did not do that. He actually wrote the book.
Yeah, and I saw a clip about that too, how he took a writing course in New York and he really learned about how to write a book. Again, I'm still concerned that both of us
But
came
listening to
across.
Josh Brolin,
Yeah, this is very concerning.
oh well, I don't know. It could be Apple Intelligence. Okay, so speaking of AI, um, you did not listen to Reasonably Shady though. I know that.
I
Uh,
did not.
so yeah, so everyone who's listening, we are now on Blue Sky. We don't have any followers, that's okay. But I did find it interesting, and because I like Reasonably Shady so much, I'm still tempted to do this. I love Giselle and Rob on Reasonably Shady, and Giselle was talking about how everybody was telling her she got to get on Blue Sky, got on Blue Sky, got on Blue Sky. She gets on Blue Sky. She said that somebody is already on Blue Sky with her name and her face and everything, and they're pretending to be her. And you don't know who she is, but she's a housewife on is that Potomac. But anyway,
On what?
on Housewives of Potomac, you don't watch Housewives. Bravo Housewives, you don't watch that
Oh
show. Okay,
no. I
anyway.
try if I come across it, I try to change the channel as quickly as possible.
Exactly, I know you would. Okay, but my point is that someone got on Blue Sky already and said they're Giselle Bryant, but and she couldn't use her real name. But then she's
Oh,
like trying to call them and say, what's up with this? Because as as much as we can say about Twitter, it's crazy, and even Instagram, they have the verifications, right? So
mhm.
only certain people can, if they're that person, they can get those names or those handles. Like you can't just
Okay.
be a person who's verified. But
Yeah.
on Blue Sky, it's wide open right now.
Ah,
So she
okay.
was trying to figure out, okay, so she had to go on there and create something else, Giselle G. Bryant. So I found the fake account, and because I do like her so much, I was tempted with our account to go on there and be like, this is fake, this is not her, this is the real one. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Um, and I was gonna go on the real one since she's not really on there. It's not that much traffic. And we're like, Giselle, I love you. I listen to you talk about you on a podcast. I didn't. I might still do that. But anyway, I just had to bring that up about the whole Blue Sky thing that they don't have verification. So I thought that was interesting.
Interesting.
Yes,
Well,
and they
so
keep growing. So okay, you go on. Yeah.
that's surprising that they rolled it out without having that in place.
Right? I
Yeah.
don't think they thought it was going to like grow so quickly.
So, yeah.
Right? So I think that that's one of the things because there's all these people who quote unquote are leaving X to go on Blue Sky, but I mean all this stuff is the fucking same. I mean, honestly, right? Um, so anyway, I thought that was interesting. Speaking of like AI and technology and podcasts, then I also listened to there's another one like that one. No, I told you because we talked about the Jake Shetty thing up front. So yeah, so those are that's what I listened to. I listened to a lot this week.
Robbie,
It's
your
all
voice is a
interesting.
little unclear.
It
Like,
is. It's
I'm
unclear.
I'm hearing some
Okay,
echo.
you're hearing echoing.
It's
Okay,
just,
well,
yeah. Are you in the restroom? Are you in the bathroom? Are you in the toilet?
no, I'm not. No, I'm not in the toilet.
I'm just
But
making
what
sure.
I will do is just get off of the headphones and just talk regularly. So let me just do that really quickly. You can talk though. Speak on something while I'm doing this.
Yeah, so I actually we were talking about AI. We kind of got into it, and we can jump back to podcasts when you're off the toilet, Robbie.
I'm not in the toilet. I'm right here. Do I sound better now?
Oh, much better. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I hope people heard me in the beginning and what I was talking about. Why
Oh,
are
this is much better. Wow.
you in the toilet? Okay. Go on.
I just suggested because that's something that I would do.
Yeah.
I talk on the phone in the toilet all the time,
I think
as do
people,
my friends.
I think people know though that we are very different.
Yes, that's. Come on, be honest. Are you telling me you've never had a conversation with a friend while you're sitting on the toilet?
I'm not gonna have that conversation.
So you have. I knew it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not
It's a
gonna.
place of relaxation. It's where you can think freely, you know?
No, I mean because here's the thing about we're not talking about this. Where
Oh,
did we get to
oh,
where did
right.
we get to talking about being on the toilet in
I don't know. This is your fault.
podcast? Because I sounded like I was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't sound like that now.
No, not anymore.
Okay, I have to get some
Did you
new.
wash your hands?
I always wash my hands when I go to the bathroom. Who
So
doesn't
you
do?
were in the bathroom.
I was not in the bathroom.
Okay.
Oh my God, you are
Making
ridiculous.
sure. Let's keep it clean, Robbie.
Yeah, let's keep it clean. Speaking of clean, I wanted to call you just now. I wanted to call you a tampon string, but then I
A
decided.
what? What's that? I don't even know what that. What is that? Is that
Okay,
a new
I'm
is that
sorry.
new lingo that I'm not aware of? What does that mean?
My friend, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and they just randomly call somebody a tampon string, and I was like, "Wow, that is really, really bad. Like that's like the worst of the
What is
worst.
that supposed to mean?
A tampon string. If
So
you
what?
use tampons, if there are any women that are listening to this, they will know what that means. You don't have any sisters?
Yeah, but what is it like? If you're calling me a tampon string, what does that mean? I don't
You know,
get it. Explain.
kind of like your lowest of the low, kind of. It's an insult, but not really. Well, actually,
It's
it
an
is an
insult.
insult. Yeah, would you want to be called? Do you know what a tampon string is?
Yes, but I don't understand the like. What is that? How is that supposed to be an insult? Like,
You don't see that would you want somebody to just randomly come up on the street and call you a tampon string?
I I mean, I wouldn't know how to react to it just because I don't understand if they're trying to insult me or
Well, let's just go. All right, that's fine. Maybe it's just because I understand that person's humor. Um, okay, this is getting really, really in the E territory. You had something that you wanted to talk about. E for explicit, everyone. You wanted to talk about with regard to AI. I didn't have anything this
I
week,
I
but
did, yeah.
yes.
Actually, so I was just reading an article recently
Mhm.
um, about the use of AI by students at universities.
Oh, okay.
And there's a study conducted on this, and 94% of AI generated college writing is undetected by professors.
I can believe that.
Well, you know what's mind-boggling is that what's really mind-boggling is that I wasn't able to get away with cheating in college, and these kids are just getting away with, using AI. But what's interesting is that universities are choosing not to use AI detection technology because there is a small chance of error on it. So there is a chance that the technology could incorrectly detect the use of AI in papers. Um, and so kids are just getting away with using AI to write papers. So they're universities are deciding not to use it because one of the accuracy costs, or sorry, the accuracy issues where the technology is not 100% accurate. And another one is the costs involved with using this technology. It costs money, right, for a school for a college to take on this kind of technology. The other thing is the time it takes for implementation and use. And the other thing is the resources. You're gonna have to hire more people. It's basically in addition to your infrastructure, right? So there are all sorts of costs and time and resources involved, in addition to the fact that there is not 100% accuracy, and they don't want to get into situations where they're blaming students for using AI when, in reality, they did not use AI. So, some ways that they're going about uh, addressing this is one, they're asking teachers to they're asking professors to try to manually detect AI. Okay, and which
I'm
is
sorry to laugh.
it doesn't make any sense, right? And the other, the things I'm reading on the internet is that there are recommended ways to approach educating students about the use of AI and healthy usage of AI, and what are the implications of using AI in the education system. Are you going to come out being with the skill set that you're supposed to in order to be successful at your profession? Kind of educating the students about that, and also discussing the ethical perspective of using AI. And I think it's all bullshit because none of that's going to work. Look, if you're a student and you're in a rush to get a paper done and you're in a jam, which happens all the time, and you can get away with using AI, you're going to do it. It doesn't matter if your professors have talked to you about the ethical perspective of using AI. Why is it not good? And what's the right balance of using AI? What kind of situations should you use AI? And what situations should you not use AI? It doesn't matter. If I'm in a tight spot, if I've been busy, if I've been busy partying hard in college and I've got a paper due the next day, I'm using AI if I know I can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't really see. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably being a little bit naive here because I think that yes, people are probably using AI. They're using it right,
Oh yeah, it's heavily used. Yeah.
but it is heavily used. But then you have different variants of how it's being used. There's going to be the people who are just going to like drop a prompt and be like, write my paper on this, this, and this, and then turn it in, right? Then there's going to be the people who are going to be like, write me an outline, and then they're going to write it. Then there's going to be people who write it, use it, and then edit it. And then there's going to be,
Yes. Yeah.
there's just going to be all these different dynamics. And I mean, there were times like when we were in school, I'm sure you know this, there were people you could pay to buy, people used to
Yeah.
buy papers. And you
Yeah.
were in certain like fraternities, sororities, they used to have
Sure.
copies of papers, and they would just, so I mean, I feel like, and I do think,
You feel like cheating is going to happen no matter what.
yeah,
There's going to be a
yeah,
way.
because there's always going to be people that are going to want to do that.
Yeah.
I
Um,
feel
and
though, I do have to say this because of what we're talking about. And this is what this Jordan Peterson guy was saying. He was talking about how he thinks, and I want to believe this too, there's going to, everything's in cycles, right? And we're in this period now where basically you don't really have to have any morals to do a lot of things, right? And there's just like there's a lot of that mentality out there, but that there's going to be a cycle and a turn where people are going to want to be good, like they're going to want to have more ethics and have more boundaries. I'm not saying I know when this is going to happen, but I do.
not during the next 4 years. I don't think
Okay,
so.
we can talk about that another time. But I don't know. I do think, and I don't know, maybe this is because of my feed and Instagram and some of the conversations. I do think there is a sense that people do want to be better, even if others are not. Now I'm not saying that it's like hugely going up and to the right, right? But I and I could just be me wanting this to be the case.
Let me
Um,
ask you something. Did you, when you were in college, did you cheat at all on papers or exams
I mean,
or anything?
did you?
Oh, absolutely. In undergrad, yeah,
Okay, well,
absolutely. I was almost expelled because I got
oh
caught
my
cheating.
God. Okay, well, I mean, I do think that there's always people who are going to cheat, and I think that there is a sense of
But
that.
you didn't answer my question. Did you?
I know, I did not answer your question, but no, I did not.
Oh, now come on.
No, I just answered you. I did
You did
not
not.
cheat on
Okay.
an exam. I wrote my papers. I will say there were some times where
Fascinating
saw
concept.
some I saw some, like, outlines or things that could help me so
Yeah.
that I had aids, but,
Mhm,
like, all out having somebody write my paper for me or take a test for me, no, I didn't do that.
mhm. I so I had my Indian crew in undergrad, and we all shared information. And we made it
I don't
as
think there's anything wrong with that, though.
yeah. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, except situations where, oh, there are a lot of ethical boundaries that were crossed because I'm using lab reports that other people did in the past. I'm getting old tests from people. We're all sharing all that information. So, am I? Was it completely ethical? Probably not. Um, and then you think it was?
Well, but here's the thing, because I feel like when you go in the work world, right, you ask people for templates, you ask for examples of things that happened in the past, you ask for, you know, what someone did before. I mean, those are things that you would do in a work environment. And nobody's going to say that you're cheating.
That's true. That's very true. That's a very good point. I
I
also
think
had
people,
the best was I guess the most direct cheating was if we had multiple choice Scantron exams in the lecture hall, and the Indian crew is passing their Scantron forms up and down the rows, sharing it with each other.
okay, well, that's the hardcore cheating. But I
I
know,
I still remember I was in a some kind of science class. I can't remember what it was.
mhm.
Maybe physics or maybe it was biochemistry. I can't remember. We had a Scantron exam, about 20 of us Indian people in the room in the lecture hall with a proctor, and we're still passing the forms up and down. And I hadn't studied at all. I knew nothing about this. What the exam was about, and I set the curve in the class. It was fantastic. That was my biggest achievement in college. I felt.
Okay.
I was proud of I was actually very I was, I was proud of myself. Is that weird?
Do you really want me to answer that question? You really want me to answer that question?
I well, another situation, I almost got expelled because we're given an assignment to create a website with biology, about any biology topic, And my buddy was like, "Oh well, I can just create these websites in a few minutes. Don't worry about it. We'll do it the day it's due." So he goes and he basically copies the exact content from other websites and drops it into a new website, and we submit it, and we all three of us get called in, get emails from the professor saying, "I'd like you to meet me in my office hours." And me being as optimistic as I was, I thought, wow, my website was so good. He wants to congratulate me personally. He's calling me in for a private meeting to tell me how amazing my website was.
How old were you when you had this concept in your mind?
I was about 20. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, 20. No, 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 no. We don't know things when we're 19, 20, etc.
Yeah.
Except for some things. What was I gonna say? Well, can I just say this though about that cheating concept? Like, did you guys really think you were gonna get away with that? Copying
Absolutely. I thought I could get away with absolutely
information
anything I
from a
wanted.
website that was online? I mean, it was
I
out there in the public.
You can't imagine, we thought we could just get away with anything we wanted to.
Okay, well, that one was interesting. Okay, so all right.
So I do like your point though. That is, people are gonna cheat no matter what. It's gonna happen. It's just, the method is different right now, but it's always gonna be available for you to do if you want to do it.
Yeah, and the other thing about the AI piece about people using it, people are going to have to know how to use AI when they leave college in job environments, in
So you're saying it's actually educational in a sense.
in a sense, yes. I think that we haven't figured out, people love the term guardrails, right? But I don't think that we figured out what kind of guardrails we can put in it with regard to education and what that looks like because it's the early days. Very similar to what we're dealing with the impact of social media and computers with kids. Right now, they're trying to age gate things. They're only trying to have like certain, teenagers have certain types of Instagram accounts. There's certain school districts where they've eliminated where you can't even bring your phone. But for people who were in the early days, they were the guinea pigs of all of the fallout of why now people are trying to put hardcore um,
Mm-hmm.
gates and guardrails around things. And I think the same thing is going to be said about certain AI tools, unless the AI gets out of hand and starts, creating havoc on its own, which that's a whole thing, it being sentient and all that. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I mean, there's a lot of hallucinations, even though people are afraid about it being sentient. There's a lot of things where
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't not it's not quote unquote it. When I say it, I mean like the models, the quote unquote thinking part of it does not have temporal context. And what does that look like? Can you even create that? Right? Because that's like a
Right.
fundamental part of being a human being. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I do think that we're at the early stages, just like we were at the early stages with the phones and the tabs and the tablets. So what is that going to look like at the end of the day? Though
Yeah.
people are going to have to learn it. I will say what I find interesting is there is a push, though, to go back and do things that are more tactile and having people like experience things and do things to interact with people more and having kids do that too more so that they develop more social, stronger social skills because that
Yeah.
is lacking with all of this computer
Yeah.
part, right? I will say I think that I only speak for my daughter. I mean, she plays sports. I talk about that, and I think that that helps some. I still don't like the fact that she's on her phone as much. I think
Mm-hmm.
you can create false relationships in the phone, particularly if the relationship was never outside of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if you have like a strong relationship with somebody prior to being in the phone, where you
Yeah.
all
Right.
connected in person for a period
Sure.
of time and you know that person
Yeah.
and and then you communicate with them on the phone. Well, that's different because you know that person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe their life has changed, but that connection that you created in the real world, that still is there.
Yeah.
um when you never have that, it's difficult, or if it was very limited, it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that's just my perspective. Kind of like when we were talking about the AI replica things. I
Mm.
would like to talk about some current events if you're open to that.
I am open.
Okay, so I have got to bring this up.
Uh-oh. He
I, I,
seems a little distressed.
because I just think it's so crazy. Okay, so have you heard about Drake suing Universal against Kendrick Lamar?
About what?
You know, They Not Like Us, the Kendrick Lamar song, the Drake diss song, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Have you heard that Drake is suing Universal and trying to sue Kendrick Lamar because because Kendrick Lamar said in the song that he was a pedophile,
Oh,
that
interesting.
that is like hindering him. I was like, are you really that much of a punk that you are suing the company over a diss rap? Like
Listen,
you are rapping,
if there's
you
money involved, he's trying to get some cash.
no. He has more money than Kendrick. That's the thing. Drake
Yeah,
has had so many songs. He's been
yeah,
so successful. And now he's just mad that Kendrick's song blew up and he doesn't have a real answer to it. And all of
yeah.
his answers have been whack. Sorry, Drake. Sorry. And you're going to sue now? Really? Bruh, for real. That's what we're
That's funny.
doing?
That's funny.
Actually,
Uh,
that is what my friend was saying, that Drake was a tampon string for suing.
oh,
Is that context? Is that better,
I'm gonna have to
context?
practice. I'm gonna have to practice using this. I'm gonna use it on some of my friends and try to get their
See what
reaction.
they say. See what they say. Yeah. Okay. What else was I gonna say? Oh, so that really like just bothered me. Then,
So he still hasn't had a response to it, to Kendrick
I
Lamar's.
mean, he tried to, I think, but I don't think it landed.
uh,
He also released some music during the election and it was out, but I don't think it really hit. And like Drake songs always hit.
Yeah,
And there was a whole Super Bowl controversy where Kendrick is performing and Drake is not, but did Drake really
yeah,
want to? So I feel like he's just being a bit of a hater,
yeah.
and I'm
Do
like,
you think? What's your opinion? Do you think Kendrick is actually more talented than Drake?
here's the thing. I've always liked Kendrick Lamar, and also too, I am partial to West Coast rap. I love Snoop and Dre and all that. I mean, that's my deal. Tupac, that's my thing. So it's hard for me to be like, I like Kendrick. I liked him before. That song is ridiculous. Everybody likes that song. I think they're both talented
In their own ways, though. In
in
their
their own
yeah,
ways. Like,
I feel the same.
I love Drake songs. There's a lot of Drake songs that I like.
Yeah.
Do I have issues though with the whole perception that he could have been messing around with minors? Yeah, I got issues with that for 100%. I don't know if it's true. Like, there's
Well,
not,
I
I don't
mean,
know, but
you do realize this, stars messing around with underage people is very
it's
common.
not new. I
It's
know.
not nothing new. It happens. It's you know,
Yeah, I
it's just
really.
now it's becoming kind of more public news, whereas before, we didn't have social media. We didn't have people, you know, trying to go public with all these things before.
I agree, but I still doesn't mean that I can't say that I have a problem with it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like that's where I'm coming from. Um, what else? There was something else I wanted to also to talk about in terms of current events. That one just really like stuck out at me because obviously it was celebrity stuff, but it just stuck. Oh, another thing too. Obviously, I have to bring this up that Diddy got denied for the fourth time.
Amazing. Now, is he still trying to
He
blackmail people from jail? Or
so
is that have they blocked access to phones now? What's going on with that?
I don't know. I don't know. But he tried for the fourth time. He didn't get. Oh, I saw Gladiator, the movie. In the movie,
Oh, with Denzel.
Denzel is such an amazing actor. He's so freaking good. He's
Yeah.
just so yes. He's
Well, I
so
mean, I know he is, but he did really good in this movie too.
yes.
Okay, nice. I gotta
Yes.
see.
100%. And I wanted to see it on the big screen because I remember when I saw Gladiator on the big screen, right? So I
Mm.
wanted to see it.
Which was
And
better?
oh, I mean, I like the first one better.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you. This one was good though. It was good. I'm glad I went to go see it on the big screen. Um,
okay.
but the only reason why I feel like this one was better, I mean the first one was better is because the first one was an original story, right?
What do you
So
mean?
I mean, like Gladiator was new. That was
Oh,
the
okay, got
original
it.
story. So this is, a sequel always has pieces of the original story in it. So because it's a sequel,
Yeah,
right? So I mean, so there's that. So it's not like you were totally listening to something or seeing something that was totally new and fresh
yeah.
because it was a number two. But Denzel, they could not have done that movie without him.
Wow. Okay.
He was so, I mean, he was much more integral than you thought he would be.
Okay.
I'll just say that. So, and he's such a good freaking actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, yes, yes,
I,
yes.
it's to your point. It's hard for anyone to come out with sequels or trilogies that are where the second or third films are better than the first. I think the only two trilogies that I've ever liked where the I like the sequel and the what do you call it, trequel, the second and the third films I like just as much as the original was Star Wars and Back
Of
to the Future.
course.
Star Wars and Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Are you
Oh yeah, incredible, incredible.
for
Are you saying you didn't like the second and the third as much as you like the first?
Absolutely not. Are
Wow.
you for
Okay.
real right
Yeah.
now? Back to the Future?
Oh yeah.
Out of all of the movies that have been out that have
I have been
part two and
consistently
part three,
disappointed with every sequel or
you
every trilogy.
Back to the Future is number two. I don't think anyone's gonna argue
Well,
with me
I
on
think it's
Star
tied with
Wars.
Star Wars.
Wait, what did you just say? Did you just say it was tied, as in TIED, as in at the same level?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like this is time. This is the time to end the
Well,
podcast because
well, no, I take that back. Star Wars is number one. I'd say Back to the Future is number two. Back to the Future is number two. Star Wars is number one. But
Back
can you
to
what? Tell me. I want you to tell
the,
me.
the Future.
I want you to give me one sequel that was as good as the original.
That okay. How about this? I agree with you on Star Wars as being number one.
And we're talking about the 80s, 70s, and 80s, not the newer ones in the 2000s.
No, 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 no. See. You try to change the game. You can't do that.
Oh
You
no, we're not.
you said of
The
all
films that were
time,
made from
blah
2000
blah
onward were
blah.
garbage.
No, you did not state years. You did not state. Maybe you
I'm
stated it in your head. Maybe, but
the
you did
but
not say
the
that.
original
No,
film was
you
the one in
said
1977.
you said the only two. That's what you said. We can roll the tape back. You said
No,
those were the only two. I am not going to sit up here and allow you to lock me in after you said that those were the two
yeah,
top ones with sequels.
oh,
Absolutely not. No.
we're talking about the
Lord of the
original
Rings.
three Star Wars, and we're talking about the three Back to the Future films.
Absolutely. Back to the Future is not even on my list. Number one. Number two, if I were to say after Star Wars, I would definitely say Lord of the Rings. I would say Harry Potter. I would say,
Oh God, Harry Potter! I can't.
yes.
You see what happened? You just made me say, "Oh God." I hate saying, "Oh God."
Well, you said it.
Don't take me there, please. Don't take me.
There's something to that. I did you hear me say Lord of the Rings though? You
I
can't
did. I hated it too.
you hated
I hated it. I think
Lord of the Rings.
I'll say, okay,
$2 and
I think
return.
my third favorite sequel would be the Bourne series, the Bourne Identity movies.
Those were better than Back to the Future?
You think so?
Absolutely, I think so.
I think it's tied. I don't know.
I don't know. You just have a thing about Back to the Future that I don't even know if I want to go there to understand.
That was great. It was great.
Back to the motherfucking future.
Okay, calm down, Robbie.
Oh my God. I will say this about you, Steven. You never cease to amaze and surprise me when we
That's
are
what all the
having
ladies tell me.
conversations.
That's exactly what the ladies tell me.
Okay, well, we are at 50, almost going to 51. So I think that I'm going to end for tonight, unless you
How did
have.
we get here? I feel like we never have enough time. That we could just keep on going for like a couple days, maybe.
You want to do a Rogan 2.5 hour
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. Which we could easily do.
I know we could. I know. I just don't know if anyone would last that long with us. I mean, I think that it's because he is Rogan that he's able to do that, and he
Yeah,
actually has people that people want to listen
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Not saying that people don't want to listen to us because we're great, but I'm just
We're not Rogan level yet.
we're not Rogan level yet. Yes, that is true. Anyway, all right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining, and remember, subscribe, and follow. Leave us reviews. Thank you for listening to us. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
week.
Thank you for joining us on Toilet Talk with
Oh.
Robbie and Steven Kennedy.
Oh my God, Steven. Were you on the toilet this whole time?
I was not, but I can be next time if that works.
Please don't. Please don't. Okay, everyone. Thank you. Have a good one.